Hey y'all, I got another video for you today. This is going to be showing you how to install a Holley 750 on an Offenhauser 351 Cleveland 4-valve intake manifold. Now this seems like a pretty specific application and video, but there's a few weird things about this carburetor and this intake manifold that don't quite mix together very well. So I'll show you a few things I had to do. The first thing is that I had to grind down this bottom section of the power valve, and right now there's not a bolt in it because this carburetor just barely nicks that part right there. I'm not really sure exactly what that's for. I think it's for an auxiliary, or for an auxiliary port or something kind of like this thing is, but obviously there's nothing there. So you have to grind this down because these two just barely touch. I would not recommend using a power tool like that grinder over there, because if you do, you might shave off too much. And yeah, you don't want to shave off too much because what you take off you cannot put back on. So I just used this metal file right here. As you can tell, there's some aluminum chunks and shit all over it. Anywho, that's pretty cool. And then another weird thing is this part of the throttle, I guess you can call it the butterfly. I had to grind, or I also had to use the that file to shave her down a little bit, because nobody likes an under area that's unshaved. And it was nicking this part right there, so just shaved her down. She fits on there pretty well. Also, here's a little tip with carb studs. Don't try, a lot of people, including me, I've tried this and it always fails, and I'll explain why in a second. A lot of people try to drive in studs by locking two nuts together like this, and then turning them, and in turn it turns the stud. Now the problem with that is that sometimes the studs get locked together and you can't get them undone, or they just strip the threads, which is shitty. So something really simple you can do is just get vice grips and grab it by this part right here that doesn't have any threads. Just grab it like that and turn it. Now that tightens it pretty good. It doesn't tighten it. Well, it tightens it a pretty good amount. Now what I don't understand is why they don't put hex Allen heads on the top of these studs, so you can just get an Allen key like this and just spin it and tighten it down, so you don't have to do anything janky and weird, because they know that there's no real way to get these in. So yeah, but you throw the carburetor on here, and yeah, it fits on there pretty well. Now with these studs, since I got them 2.5 inches, because I'm gonna make a video about whether or not 4-barrel carbs on 2-barrel intakes, if that adapter actually helps make power, or if it's just shitty. I'm going to lean on it's shitty, but we're going to do some 0 to 60 times and some 0 to 30 times to see if it actually helps. And then after that, we'll actually swap on this manifold and see how much power we make. And then we'll do another run with a carb spacer. Now, it's pretty well known that carb spacers allegedly make power. I've heard mostly on online forums that they do, but I'll put that to the test, which is why I got these super long studs, because most carb spacers are about 1 inch, so that would move it up to there, and you need some threads for that. Another problem with these studs, well, not really a problem, but just something that pops up, is they only give you one washer, and when you tighten it all the way down, you're not actually tightening it down to the carb. You're actually just tightening it down. Shit. God damn it. You're actually just tightening it down to that empty spot where the carb's supposed to sit. Right there. So instead of the bolt actually locking out on the carburetor, shit, god damn. You see, it just stops right on there. It may not actually be making contact with the carburetor holding it down. So a good way to stop a vacuum leak is to use 2 washers just to double check to make sure you're not getting a vacuum leak, because vacuum leaks are a pain in the ass to find. So yeah, just if you put down the carb, put 2 washers on top, such as that, and then tighten down the bolt, the carburetor should not have a vacuum leak at the base plate area. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to get new intake gaskets, which ain't a big deal. Those are like $5. But in this setup right here, carburetor, studs, gasket, I paid like $150 for all of this. But I bought all this stuff separately. Another thing is that my Mustang throttle cable has a ball and socket joint, and this throttle originally didn't have one on there, but you can go to O'Reilly's and just pick one up. It's that thing right there, and it just tightens down into that little hole right there. You can see it on the original carburetor. It's that thing right here. So you're gonna have to swap that out. Another thing I'm gonna have to get is a transmission kickdown, which is this thing right here. They also sell those at AutoZone. Or I'm sorry, O'Reilly's. Don't go to AutoZone. People at AutoZone are fucking retarded. Trust me. But yeah, this carburetor is pretty much ready to go on. I mean, it seems like it's like fairly new, because the gaskets are really clean. The power valve is clean. The floats are doing their job. So yeah. But as I said before, I'll have a video coming up pretty soon of installing this intake manifold and using a or one of those 2-barrel to 4-barrel conversions. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you today. And yeah, if I have anything else to film when I get bored, I'll let y'all know. See ya.